Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by SYNTELL Koay.
Yo, what's cracking, baby?
We are continuing on with Dark Season 1, this time Episode 2, Lies. We're not lying, it's the name of the episode. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see a cut-down version of our reaction because we're only allowed to show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. However, if you want to watch the whole thing with us, uncut, uninterrupted, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabyKoay, where you can watch the whole show with us, but you will need your own Netflix subscription, so you can open up the show in an adjacent window to our reaction, and it's like you're watching with two of your favorite buddies from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button below, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. All right, let's jump into this. Here we go.
That's like an old suitcase, too. That looks like a suitcase that was probably using these. Oh, there's the guy. You gotta look at him. We just talked about animals detecting bad things in the environment and dying, like canaries in coal mines. Huh.
Deja vu. There's
Right?
a glitch in the Matrix.
That looked like it could have been an older version of him, too.
Tinnitus. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh,
CG.
please tell me he's dreaming. That's grody melody.
Black.
Oh.
Oh, it's like soot.
A dream within a dream.
Oh, that sucks.
Diese Verbrennung an den Augen ist eigenartig. Wie geschmolzen. Keine Anzeichen von sexuellem Missbrauch, kein Sperma, keine fremde DNA. Ach so, ja, eine Sache ist seltsam. Schau mal hier. Neben den Verbrennungen sind die Gehörgänge völlig zerstört.
Oh, it's almost like he's, our main character is almost like sensing this maybe?
Ah, yeah.
Winzige Steinchen in den Gehörgängen, die dafür sorgen, dass wir wissen, wo oben und unten ist. Die können sich verirren. Zum Beispiel, wenn der Körper rotiert. Da verlieren wir das Gleichgewicht. Und bei diesem Jungen hier ist kein Steinchen mehr da, wo es hingehört.
She seems almost like mesmerized by this whole thing, like she's enjoying it. That's weird.
Yeah.
The cranes aren't where they should be. It's so neat.
You enjoy your job too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael!
Ooh-wee, I'm so claustrophobic. Looking at stuff like this jacks me up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yo, if your son's in there...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just muscle through it, but I would need that motivation for me to have to do that just watching it. Oh, fallout shelter, huh?
Is it Fallout or is it connected to the plant?
Michael!
Yo, if you can't get in there, he's probably not in there. Radioactive.
No.
Radioactive.
Nach Angaben der Polizei wurde der 11-Jährige zuletzt in Begleitung seiner Geschwister im Windener Forst nahe des Kernkraftwerks und den Windener Höhlen.
What do you know?
Bereits seit 2 Wochen wird ein 15-jähriger Junge aus dem Umkreis Winden vermisst. Ob beide vermissten Fälle zusammenhängen, wollte die Windener Polizei zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt unkommentiert lassen.
There's that ticking again.
Ich konnte Ulrich nicht erreichen. Sollten wir nicht zu den Kindern?
Die haben mehrere Suchtrupps organisiert. Ich muss los.
It's not his
Wo
head.
warst du letzte Nacht? Ich bin aufgewacht
Oh,
gegen
this is
Mitternacht.
birthmark.
Erst Mats, jetzt Mikkel. Es ist genauso wie damals.
Yeah, they got that 30-yard stare, you know. Like, all of them have been absolutely seen something.
An seiner Kleidung ist überall rote Erde, aber nirgendwo bei der Fundstelle. Außerdem sieht es so aus, als hätte jemand den Jungen Sachen aus den 80ern gekleidet. Schuhe, Walkman, auch 80er.
Right? A Walkman? When's the last time you've even seen one of those?
Wir haben 2 verschwundene Kinder und einen toten, noch nicht identifizierten Jungen. Kontaktiert die zentrale Vermisstenstelle. Befragt jeden im Umkreis. Jeden.
In der Höhle, da ist eine Tür. Ich habe eine Tür gefunden.
Kann ich die kurz sprechen?
He probably has to be removed from the case. Yeah.
We haven't seen anything inside the plant. Oh,
As
now
soon
we
as you
do.
said it, yeah.
Die Polizei wird bald hier sein. Die müssen heute noch verschwinden, Jürgen. Noch heute Nacht.
Oh, I guess we had this massage session in this room.
That's right. That's where that dot connected. Good call.
Weißt du, was erfolgreiche von erfolglosen Menschen unterscheidet? Eben. Also heute Nacht. Und du redest mit niemandem. Verstanden?
Isn't his son one of the ones that's disappeared?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been missing for 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Kann ich Ihnen behilflich sein?
Ich brauche ein Zimmer.
Wow, okay.
I wonder if he hasn't set foot in this room since his dad passed away.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I wasn't even sure where we were.
Yeah, that's where his dad hung himself.
Okay.
Presumably his dad's den or whatever.
All right.
Yellow, 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 everywhere yellow.
At first I thought it was like a Ghostbusters trap on the table.
Oh, I missed it.
I don't know what that is.
He assembled that crazy house real quick.
Real quick, a journey through time, huh?
Coming in the
And that
hotel.
old luggage.
Coming in the hotel looking like The Walking Dead. I need a room. And then pop, just set that shit up real fast.
Did he pull that big gigantic box at that little bitty?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. It's like a bag of holding or something. What is that?
That looks like some steampunk stuff.
Right?
Like a reimagining of that device in Inception. Oh, the guilt.
Yeah.
Maybe if you weren't trying to bone the neighbors, bone the neighbor, you know.
And his guilt for maybe not even, grabbing his brother when they were running.
Yeah. I mean, he's a kid, but still. What was coming out of his ear? Was it oil?
It was black is all we knew.
Because, like, his dad... I mean, looking at what his dad does, what his dad was covered in, what was coming out of his ear, it all, like, it could have been paint. Got some Moon Knight action going on.
Mm-hmm. We got the Goonies map.
Oh, yeah.
Das Biegen von Raum und Zeit möglich. Zu schauen, was dahinter liegt und welchen Preis würden wir bezahlen.
Oh, you hear him whimper like that? Golly.
That's a lot of drugs.
A lot.
Jesus.
You got weed, pills.
Was soll das? Warum bist du hier?
Es tut mir so leid.
Yep. He feels super guilty. He can't do it. It's not the same, is it?
That's the last thing I'm trying to think about. The absolute last thing I'm trying to think about.
Ich kann das nicht jetzt.
I feel that.
Ich ruf dich an, okay?
Well, he just left her in there? I mean, it looks like a very important room, so.
It looked like the evidence locker almost or something, right?
Yeah. Where's the crossing? Like a bridge? He wasn't just that kid wasn't just dressed in 80s clothes. He came from the 80s. That's crazy.
Right?
Hast du den Obendorf befragt?
Ja, wieso?
In den Akten steht, er hatte zum Zeitpunkt von Eriks Verschwinden Schicht auf dem AKW. Und gestern Nacht, war der da auch im AKW?
Keine Ahnung.
What's he connecting there?
Maybe he took him and hit him at the power plant. That was easy.
Uh-oh. Is he getting a gun?
Shotgun time. Yep. The hell?
Lass das fallen.
Oh, just drugs. Whew. I was just like, please don't be a little boy's head.
Ist das deins?
Erik und ich hier und da was verkauft an der Schule.
Jeez.
You never want to start a scene with a body getting drug. Plant owner stashing something, huh?
Sie werden ihn finden. Ich hoffe es.
Is the power out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Glaubst du, da war was er niemand von uns erzählen wollte? Vermisst du ihn? Ich glaube, ich vermisse eine Vorstellung von ihm. Eigentlich weiß ich gar nicht, wer er wirklich war. Aber vielleicht wissen wir das auch nie, wer irgendjemand wirklich ist. Hast du ihn geliebt?
Oh, I guess you're right. It was out.
Oh.
I guess it's a small town, so those kinds of things.
Was immer auch passiert, du sagst mir die Wahrheit.
That was interesting. The great Mikhail Houdini.
I forgot that he was a magician too for a hot second.
Well, he disappeared.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a random thing.
Whoa.
Dang.
What? Just walking out?
Yeah, but the cave is different. Remember some of those branches in front of it? We're at a different time. The chair's not there anymore. So this is either before or way after.
Oh, so maybe the grown-up guy in the hotel is...
I don't know. You think it could be Mikhail?
Mikhail, I'm wondering.
Old school buggy. Is he in the 80s?
More than likely.
Yeah, old school scooter.
Ich wohne hier.
Ulrich. Und ich wohne hier. Du Spinner bist am falschen Haus.
Hey Ulrich! Komm, wir müssen los.
Ja, Katharina, ich komme ja schon.
You even close your door behind you, man? Katarina. I gotta remember that name. Chernobyl, half a year later. Yeah.
I called it. Last episode, I'm like, maybe you are supposed to think about Chernobyl. Maybe that's supposed to be something in your mind.
Yeah, you called all of that. All of that. It's like some weird Back to the Future thing going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. Back to the Future is actually a great reference because Marty McFly goes back to the... Well, I don't remember what era he goes back to because the film takes place in the 80s, right?
It was 30 years back. No, 20 years back. So it's 1965, right? He goes back to
he goes back to 1955 or something like that.
1955.
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that. Anyway, that's not really the point. He sees his parents as a kid. That's crazy. Like, if he's just stuck, then maybe ultimately he grows up into the guy who's at the hotel.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why he wrote on there, when is Mikhail.
Yeah.
So that's probably him. I think that's my half solid theory that I can think of right now.
So I guess what I'm wondering now, because they showed you the Chernobyl thing, I mean, that was very specific. It wasn't just to date it. It was to emphasize something because we are dealing with a nuclear power plant. Maybe it's some sort of like Godzilla mechanism because like the nuclear power is creating some kind of, I don't know, time pocket or something like a vortex or a wormhole or of some kind. Who knows how any of this shit works except for scientists themselves. But it's interesting. It's interesting. It's like, it's that episode 1. I haven't seen an episode 2 in a while that made me go, oh my God, that was even better than the first episode. It's always like, it's you know what I'm saying? It's always like, okay, so we're continuing on this journey. It's definitely still got me hooked, to say the least, as to where this is going, because it's that slow doling of information. And, you know, it makes me always wonder what it's like to be a writer for this kind of thing, like a mystery, because as the writer, as the omnipotent writer, you have all the cards and all the information, and you're slowly like revealing one thing and then another thing and then another thing. Like, how do you make the decisions of what to let the audience in on and how to drop these hints and whatnot? Like, that's always just a fascinating thing for me, like psychologically. Because I haven't ever written mystery, and so to me this is like fascinating to just sort of observe. I'm a Patterson fan, so
yeah, I mean it's multiple writers on here, and that's a problem. I'm sure there's many rewrites in order to kind of like get the pacing down and not let too much out, and make sure you get proper character development. This episode was slower than the first one, but like you said, it wasn't slow in a negative way. It was just slower. You had mentioned something earlier regarding Ulrich and his lover, and not necessarily having a lot of sympathy for them because they're doing this horrible thing behind their family's back.
Yeah.
But this episode right here, at least from Ulrich's standpoint, it seems like he's really like diving into the depths of regret.
Yeah, because he wasn't paying attention to his family, and then look what happened.
Right. So because he's going down this journey, is he becoming more of a redeemable character for you now?
Hell no.
Okay. I was just curious, yeah.
Not yet. Gotta give him more time. I mean, to some degree, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the whole family that they lost this kid. I mean, that's horrible no matter what. Like, I don't wish that upon anybody. That's just frightening. There was an interesting moment where he's at that dude's place in the guy's shed, in the back shed, where he uncovers the drugs inside of that hole. And he doesn't even care about the drugs. Like, it's his job to enforce the law, and he doesn't give two shits about the drugs. He's just like, I'm just looking for my son. And the guy's like, do you know where my boy is? Like, I'm sorry. And they both are just like standing there with the same exact loss. Like, dang, that's a very interesting moment I haven't seen in TV before. So... Yeah, I appreciate some of the things that they're doing here. The director of photography, I suppose in combination with the director, like the color choices, the lighting choices, very bold. I'm not a huge fan of the backlight thing. I see that a lot in television now. I see that in like the Ozark and a lot of Netflix shows, in fact. I don't know why it's such a popular choice. There's a YouTube channel called Wolf Crow. He probably explains it really well. Okay. But... he talks about lighting and directing and all that stuff. But anyway, that's another conversation entirely. In general, I think that the lighting's bold because a lot of things tend to be just brighter in general these days. And so, like, it is living up to the name dark in terms of the way it's lit. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, there's something going on with this cave. That's what I got from this. There's something going on with the cave because this didn't really move things a lot that dramatically other than giving us the clue that, okay, so first we know the kid, Mikhail's still alive. We know he went back through time, and we know there's something up with that cave because that's where he came out of. And as you pointed out, there's no chair there or whatever. Like, things are obviously different. That's really all that's moved further along here. In terms of dramatic stuff, Ulrich is like, yo, Betty number 2, we gotta slow this down.
He's showing up at my job. What are you doing? That's a violation.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
Like, what the hell is she thinking?
I mean, I'm sure she just wants to be there. In her brain, she's probably processing that he's hurt and he needs me in order to help, console him during this troubling time. But when you're the side piece, no.
What makes you think
you
this
to go
is,
further away?
Yeah. What makes you think this is okay? My aunt told me about when my grandfather passed away. He had a side piece, and she showed up at his funeral. And my aunt Teresa was like, "What makes you think it's okay for you to be here? I don't care what you felt. You can't be here. This is family. Right. You're not family."
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an interesting relationship that's going on between the grandmother and her husband, because he's obviously hiding something, right? He was washing a sweater that had blood all on it.
Yeah.
He's leaving in the middle of the night to do who knows what. But the one tone that I think a lot of the older heads do share is that this is happening again, I guess. I am curious about that.
Yeah, history's repeating itself. One cool thing that they're doing in this show that I like is that there is definitely history here. Because, it's really neat to come into a show in the middle of a story and you feel like there's just like decades of story behind it before it started, as opposed to everything was born, the moment the story started, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
I like that there's all this stuff going on. My comparison's always to Game of Thrones, where when that story starts, there's like 200 years of story that's been thought about before we even got to page 1 of Game of Thrones. I don't know if it's based on anything, but it feels like a novel adaptation, that the way the story's being told, and I appreciate that.
The only other thing, and I really want to touch on what you had said regarding Chernobyl, and we just, in case you just now knowing, we just got done watching Chernobyl, and there's like a lot of context clues. We had talked about like the canary in the cage during Chernobyl as a way of letting people know when a situation is getting bad. So we saw a first hint of that in episode 1 when we saw one of the birds that had died, and then we saw a bigger, larger version of that when there was like an entire flock of just dead birds sitting outside of the police station.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that maybe some radiation stuff going on.
I was wondering, that was my first thought, was that there's a radioactive thing happening and that's why you're seeing all those dead birds. And so the effect is just more dramatic on smaller species, and that's why you're seeing that. Versus humans, it might take longer to be noticed, and take hold of whatever ill effects it might have on you. What you're talking about is the canary in the coal mine. It's an old thing they used to do. Anyway, it's an interesting. Yes.
It's just a theory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and the guy that runs, I'm not saying he owns the nuclear power plant, but he definitely runs it.
Yeah.
He's getting something out of Dodge. He's loading something up on a truck.
Yeah.
And while during this time that this truck is being loaded up with something from the power plant, the power's fluctuating.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. No. It's all interesting stuff. It's all just clues right now, and we're just piecing it together. So, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, all notifications, and vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Follow SYNTELL with the Intel at SYNTELL on Instagram, youtube.com/SYNTELL for his YouTube content. And if you're watching this on Patreon, thanks so much for supporting us here. I'm Jaby Koay. This is...
Hey, it's your boy SYNTELL.
Peace out.